Hey folks, Alan Manick, the Hot Rod Hippie here, coming to you with weird tools from SEMA 2019. These are some of the items that I looked at the time and thought, that's pretty neat, until I thought about it a little more. Some of these are actually decent, good ideas, and then there's at least one item in there that had me thinking deep, dark thoughts that I can't get out of my head, and it's still in there and it won't go away. Let's check it out. SEMA 2019 coverage is brought to you by the fine folks at Trick Tools, high-performance tools for fabricators, and home of the no-junk guarantee. SEMA coverage is also brought to you by the folks at Sunex Tools, high-quality hand tools, shop equipment, and tool storage options at affordable prices. Links in the description down below. Now, if you can't tell from that intro, I'm going to be joking around at least a little bit in this video, but let's check out these weird tools, diving in first with the Twist and Seal. The Twist and Seal is an extension cord housing. The idea here is you plug your extension cords together or your device into your extension cord, put them into this housing, and it actually has little strain relief hooks as well, so you don't have to worry about your cord coming unplugged, and it's also a water resistant housing to keep water from splashing onto your extension cords. So if you're wet sanding a car, if you're detailing a car, if you're working around doing DIY projects and it's a little bit drizzly out or just rained, this can allow you to work with a little more confidence of not getting things shocked or having things short out on you. Now this made it onto this list because when I very first saw it, my first thought was, that is stupid. But honestly, as I thought about it a little more, I looked at it a little more, it made more sense to me, and I could see the use of this thing. Not worrying about dragging things through puddles, not having entire cords together. I can see the use for it. It comes with a 5-year warranty, it's made in the USA, and it's a reasonable price at $12.99 for the max version. One thing I should note is I couldn't find any rating anywhere. These aren't IP rated or anything like that, so I'm calling them weather resistant, water resistant, because I couldn't find anything saying like you could submerge the plug into a puddle or anything and not have to worry about it. So I'm not going to make any claims for them on that. Did you? Next up, I swung by the ProSpot booth, and this is the new Sand-O-Matic 3000. Set this thing to work on a car and you'll have front to back streamlined panels in minutes. I have to say, I for one welcome our new robot overlords. The robot is just a demonstration piece, and that's the attention grabbing and the weird thing here. The actual tool on display is one of their dust-free sanding setups. This is the aluminum dust-free sander, and the idea here is, you might notice, I didn't even think about it at first. I was just fascinated with the robot standing on the panel. But while I was watching that, it didn't even dawn on me there's no dust flying off this thing. That vacuum system is working flawlessly. And this is a great little system for working on body filler on cars, working on aluminum panels on cars, not having to worry about those dangerous particles flying around, worrying about your lungs. I would still wear a respirator if it was me working with the thing, but it is a neat idea all the same. It comes in a 14-pound package. This whole little unit here is not that heavy to drag around behind you, work with. And this unit is actually no electric in there. There's no electric motor. It works on air power, and it also automatically works. So you start the sander, you start sanding the panel, it automatically starts sucking up the particles and everything. The vacuum kicks in. And I don't have a price on this unit, unfortunately, because ProSpot, if you're familiar with ProSpot, they're one of these high-quality manufacturers of spot welders and riveters for aluminum panels and panel welding equipment, and they're really aimed toward the auto collision sector. They're one of these companies that if you ask a price, they're gonna tell you to call one of our sales reps and they can talk to you about financing that product today. So it's up to you whether or not you want to do that. Next up was the folks at GearWrench. I left this out of my GearWrench video because it wasn't as interesting of a new product as the rest of the items that I put into the actual dedicated GearWrench video. This is their trap mat. The trap mat is an egg crate foam that you stick into the drawers or your tool cart, your toolbox to organize your tools. I don't know where the heck I've seen a product like this before, but I feel like I've seen something similar to it somewhere along the line. The idea of this is you get a 4-pack of this foam, you can stick in there, you can set whatever tools either perpendicular to each other and parallel to each other into there and organize them. I don't love the idea because it looks silly. They say it quiets down rolling a cart around. Okay, that's a bonus, I guess, in a noisy automotive shop. And it is solvent resistant, so they say. I question that a little bit, but hey, I'll take their word for that. The big thing here to me is just that it takes up way too much room. If I'm gonna space my wrenches or my socket sets that far apart, I'm wasting a whole lot of space in the toolbox that I could otherwise actually be making use of. The funny thing is that when you actually compare it to something like this sound foam, I thought this stuff was going to end up being cheaper, but for the square inches that you're getting, here's the dimensions of just one trap mat, and you get 4 of those for that price tag. This stuff actually ends up being a little bit more expensive, I think. So, okay, I could actually see the point of this. If you want to set up a studio space, you could use it as sound foam, really. Even though, honestly, this stuff isn't that good at noise cancellation. I have some better stuff for you. You can check out the link up here to a video on my second channel where I made some of the stuff that I actually use. Did you just see that? I'm not, whatever, moving on. Next up is a new product award winner at the SEMA 2019 event. This is a product that when I very first saw it, I thought, that's just silly. And then I looked at it a little more and went, you know what? No, I actually see the good points of that. I kind of like that. And then I thought about it a little more and went, wait, no, I don't like that at all. This is the TRAC, the Tire Rotation Assistance Cart. The idea here is this is a back saver. You can go ahead and roll this up underneath the car. You got it up on a lift. You're going to do a tire rotation on that thing. You have a foot pump actuation, jack the thing up to the tire. It's got rollers on there so you can roll it to line the wheel up and get it off of there, get it onto there. It's got a clamp mechanism on the one side of it so you can actually clamp to the wheel, clamp to the tire, hold it in place. And overall, this is where I kind of thought about it. I was like, you know what? Saving your back, not having to do those tire rotations and hurt yourself by lifting badly, it can happen. It does happen to a lot of auto techs. I started thinking, this is actually a pretty good idea. And then I stopped and thought about it. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do the tire rotation, take that wheel, go to the other corner. Oh, how do I take the other wheel off? You have to have two of these things to do an actual tire rotation, at least. And that doesn't sound like the end of the world, and you consider these things are $800 a piece. Now, if you have back problems already, I could see this being a benefit to you. If you're worried about back problems, like I try to think about that because I'm in my 30s and I want to have a long, healthy life, I have to think about things like that. This isn't the worst idea I've ever seen by any means, by any stretch. Yeah, I just don't know if I could see myself buying two of them. It's up to you. Link in the description down below if you're interested. Last and most certainly least is the Nitto Mechanics Kit. They advertise this thing as the world's most innovative tool management system. Okay, that's a lot in one sentence. The thing with this thing is, it comes with a clamp mechanism with a handful of three flexible arms on it that can hold tools and tool holder setups at different angles. It comes with an LED rechargeable light, so you can set this thing up, angle that light to whatever you need to light up, and that's a great little function of this setup. And it also comes with 4 other accessories you can switch out onto any of those 3 arms with a quick change and design. You've got a magnetic tool tray to go ahead and put nuts and bolts and such in. You've got a magnetic flat plate so you can just stick wrenches or some piece of metal right onto that flat plate. You've got a cell phone holder, so if you're using your phone to check Instagram while you're working or you're actually looking up diagnostic information, you can have that right there at hand. And you also have a funnel, so you can use this thing to hold the funnel right where you need it, not have to have 3 hands, call somebody over to help you if you got a difficult to reach fill port on something. My problem with the product comes together when you have all 3 items constantly attached to each other at all times. That's the only way this thing works. It doesn't separate into 3 different flexible arms. It's just one unit with 3 arms on it all the time. My other problem is that they advertise the hell out of this thing at SEMA 2019. The new product showcase is this big area where companies put in their new products, and you've probably seen a lot of my videos featured these really white lit areas. Those were the new product showcase cases where they had these products on display. This product was in those cases no fewer than 3 times in separate areas. I walked around and I'm like, oh, there's another one. Why are there 3 of these things in here? There were banners up on the walls of the show, hanging signs. I got sick of it by the end of the week, and honestly, it kept putting me in the mind of Cthulhu with those tendrils, blah, blah. I was probably starting to get the flu at this point. It was right after Halloween, so excuse that concept, I guess, but I couldn't help but think of Cthulhu when I saw this thing. I'm not saying this is a really bad idea, but I just can't see where I'm gonna need a magnetic tool tray, a funnel attached to a fixed arm, and a work light all in the exact same location. Now, if this thing broke into 3 separate flexible arms that you could use independent of each other, this would be a totally different statement. The last point where things get a little funky for me is the price of this thing. On the show floor with the new product showcase, they were saying $279 for this. Now, you go to their website, $259 as low as it says right on the page of their website. Okay, well that's a little more reasonable. Buy now. Click that button and you're taken to a web page that has it listed for $329. There's no $259 option, only $329. Oh, but then there's the drone and RC kit. So if you're working on like drones, I could see that. Working on the workbench, clamp us to the edge, you got all that stuff right there, your light, your tray. That makes sense. But that kit's $349 and it doesn't come with all 5 accessories that the mechanic kit does for $329. I think they need to figure out what the heck they're doing when it comes to marketing this product right now. I cannot confirm if
this will not call forth the old ones from the deep. Our dark lord Cthulhu shall rise again, so saith the Necronomicon. The Nitto Mechanics Kit will call to him.
That's gonna wrap it up for this video, folks. Now, if you couldn't tell, this video was hyperbolic. I'm not telling you these products are crap or anything like that. I could see benefits and good features in each of these products, but I just want to give you my honest opinion about them. They struck me as weird, so I'm presenting them as weird tools to you folks. There'll be links in the description down below to all of these products.
The Dark Lord Cthulhu compels you to like this video down below. Let us know in the comments down below, is this anything you might actually be interested in? Something in here you think you might want? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe to keep up to date with all the Hot Rod Hippie content and the SEMA 2019 coverage yet to come, or the old ones will find you.
This is my green screen.